Hello everybody, welcome to Bass and Bonsai. You are joining me smack dab in the middle of a fishing trip that is honestly not going that great. So we're gonna stop, take time to enjoy the sound of silence, right? And in honor of Metallica's version of The Sound of Silence, which I've been listening to last week or so heavily, I wanted to put together a video real quick to demonstrate how quiet I guess I consider my combos to be, because I was going through and I was getting some of those, reels, the Black Knights that come with the ceramic hybrid ceramic bearings. Or the ceramic bearings are they're noisy, right? And yeah, you can oil them and quieten them down some, but that kind of defeats the purpose of them being free and working, and I know they last longer and all that. So you guys have probably heard me talking about that noise, and I was going back to it. So that's what I did last night. Yesterday I was out fishing, and the Joker, I had Roro bearings, which I believe they're just micro. I don't know if they're ceramic. So I just put the stock lingual bearings back in it for today. But the Dark Wolf Ultra was the one. I had the Black Knight 2 hybrid ceramic bearings in it, thinking, it gained a couple feet maybe, or, did it help or not? Which I think it does slightly, but in all honesty, is that noise generated on a day's fishing worth the few feet that, in all honesty, when you get out here and you just start fishing, most all these reels I have, actually every one of them, they get just fine distance. There's nothing lacking to help you fish with the stock bearings, and they're quiet. So I'm going to put you guys on the chest harness and just cast each one of these combos I have, and we'll enjoy the sound of silence. Now you'll probably hear trees blowing in the background. We got a crazy wind, and I'm just actually waiting. It's 8:20 a.m. I've caught some bass on chatterbaits, but I'm just waiting for that temperature to warm up a little more so I can get out in this 15-20 mile an hour wind and fish. But let's enjoy the sound of silence. Let's go. I'm going to talk about a few other things while I'm doing this little just kind of demonstration thing basically, but I understand if you're a guy, and that's kind of like the real test. I think he mainly fishes from the bank, and he's just over the years he's gotten accustomed, and he likes Shimano's and how they'll cast and all that. But I'll be honest, when I get out fishing, don't get me wrong, Shimano, Daiwa, both very good brands, very good casters, most all their reels. But I can see where a bank fisherman will look for every extra foot, because I've been there. I've been a bank fisherman. I'm on the bank, and I'm wanting to reach that piece of wood. I'm wanting to cast, a square bill on the other side of that wood, and I want it to bounce across it, and I'm just know that that's going to be a fish. And I can see where you're wanting that extra, casting distance out of your reel, the performance out of the reel, the longer rod, and all that kind of stuff. But in all honesty, me fishing in this little boat, I can get in little spots, get in and out. I don't have to, I just want to be far enough back where I don't feel I'm a spook to fish and make a cast. So, and you guys comment below if how important is it that you get max distance. This is why I use shorter rods. If I really wanted to get maximum distance, yes, I'd probably fish with 7 foot, 4, 6, whatever rods, but they feel weighted. You got enough issues with what size bait you're using. You don't need a huge extra giant rod and reel, and that's kind of has to do with these bearings. Almost all the reels, I can't really think, even the AliExpress or the JDM stuff, even the stuff you can get at Bass Pro Shops, the house brand stuff, all the bearings nowadays seem to be pretty good bearings, just stock bearings, and they're pretty quiet. When you get into the hybrid ceramics and that kind of stuff, it gets louder and louder. And the first reel that comes to mind is that Zillion with the chameleon spool, that the super thin aluminum just kind of translates the sound. It almost acts like an amplifier, like I don't know what you call it, the acoustics on it. But anyway, let's go. The first one I'm going to use right here, that's the Lingual variant MK9. It should sound just about like what the Lingual does, but I'm going to try to make a cast keeping it close to the my body, where it's close to the GoPro and you guys can hear the sound. So you hear that? That's not very loud. This is an 8-to-1. Real quiet. You're hearing that braid through the guide. so the gears are quiet. This is brass gears. So that is a quiet reel overall. If you know, 8-strand braid's pretty quiet, but if you run it even quieter than that, you could use, you know, fluoro or mono and have a very quiet deal. Okay, I'm gonna jump, and I'm going in the order of the basically the power of rods that I've got set up right at the moment. So we've got the Zillion with the SV boost spool. These are stock bearings. I believe they're stock bearings. I guess, yeah, did I ever switch? No, these are stock bearings. So stock bearings on the Zillion 1000, and let's just go. Now that is quiet. That, you don't get any quieter than that, I can assure you. The retrieve, like this, is a super quiet, super smooth. Listen, there's no sound. Oh man, that is so, this may be the reel that spoils me, and all these others sound like crap once you start adding, you know, different bearings and stuff to them. But this reel is awesome. Love that reel. Can't talk highly enough about that Daiwa reel. They're definitely on the right track. Okay, this is the one, I guess I should be showing you the bearings, but you guys have all seen bearings. This, I had the red Roro Micro. Now, I don't know if they were micro hybrid ceramics, or I think they may have been just micro, but I could swear that they definitely made it louder. Did they help in throwing lighter baits? Possibly, but I actually have this now more or less on a rod, that a light rod, but it's kind of my power BFS. You guys will keep hearing me say it. Like right here, this you know, spinnerbait right here is is that 3/8 ounce, maybe quarter? I think it's closer to 3/8 probably, or maybe quarter ounce. But Z-Man, but a spinnerbait. So put the stock bearings back in it last night. Super caster still. Oh, the geese! This is the sound of silence, you morons! Get out of here. Did I mention I hate geese? Oh, yesterday, goose poop galore all over. It's probably what has the grass so freaking rejuvenated at the reservoir. Anyway, back to the sound of silence. And speaking of silence, I've got a loose screw in there. I've added weight and I did not do it right. So anyway, one more cast. But here, these are the stock bearings, and they're fairly new because I took them out early on. Listen to that. That is pretty quiet. And that is, I think I have 120 feet of 10-pound braid on here. And I could easily, I'm not really trying to cast as hard as I can. I could probably cast that all off, no issues whatsoever. So basically the same reel right here. Hear that? These freaking, oh my God, I got a gun. This is a gun. Get out of here. Get. Go on. Yeah. Jesus. Now I know why hunters hunt these geese. I know why. Canadians. What are you going to do with them, huh? All right. I know. I'm nuts. Anyway, I'm trying to do the sound of silence. And I've got freaking honkers everywhere. Everywhere I go. I've told you guys. All you want to do, if you want to know what kind of sounds are out in the world, try to make a YouTube video. You will hear them. All right, now this is another one. This one yesterday was driving me nuts. I love this combo. Let me drop that bait in the water. I had balanced this one before, and it does not have any loose screws in it. But that Dark Wolf Ultra on the Teton, that is just it's just a super buttery, smooth casting and all that, except for I had the Black Knight 2 ceramic hybrid bearings in it, and man, it was noisy. That's the only noise I love hearing. That's, oh man, right? That is music to your ears when you hear that thing just take off, fish running with it. That's the only noise I want to hear out of my combos really nowadays. I know I'm probably getting picky, but let's go. So the very first, when it spools up, because that is a very the 30 millimeter, you can hear it when I cast. It basically goes into super overdrive, so it's going to make a little bit of a noise, but very quiet compared to the Black Knight 2 bearings. Just another reason why I prefer the Dark Wolf Ultra So you can hear that first wing, like I zing it. Oh, get out of here. Private property, move on. Go back to Canada where you belong. I'm gonna mess around, catch a fish. But I'll put it this way, I like the reel even better putting the stock bearings back in it. I liked it. I should have left this totally alone stock. Get the Dark Wolf Ultra, just like the lingle. If you can track the lingle down and the Dark Wolf Ultra, leave them alone. Don't mess with all that other stuff that people try to you need to do the magnet upgrade. If you don't know about that, check my videos on the Dark Wolf Ultra. Mag upgrade, leave it alone. Don't mess with the extra whatever on the bearings. This is an awesome, quiet, smooth, retrieving, casting, $70 reel. All right, coming to the final two. My favorite, I even like this better, and it's probably just the fact that palms a little better than Dark Wolf Ultra. Definitely palms better than a lingle, but the lingle and the Zillion, I'll say for that matter, they just have that, they have a bigger palming feel, but a firmer, like, and comfortable. Like this, it feels more rounded than even this does, but this palm's smaller. I know we're talking sounds of silence. So let's just see how quiet though. This is a stock Corrado BFS XG. How quiet is it? Honestly, it's not as quiet as the others, but it's quiet. It is not super loud. You can hear them bearings. Well, I think anyway. You guys comment what you think you just heard. Did the Dark Wolf Ultra, that first spool up is louder, but then I think once the line's going out, this is definitely louder than the Zillion. I think it's definitely louder than the Lingles. Let's try that again. Hear that? You can hear just a little bit that isn't the line, I think. But I like it. It's quiet. It's quiet enough for me. And you guys comment which ones you thought were the Zillion, I think, is hands down quieter than any of them. Then I think the lingle variants are. Then the Dark Wolf Ultra, except for that initial one. Then would be this. Then let's go to this. Now, one time I thought this was the quietest, but yesterday I was like, I don't think it's as quiet as the Zillion. But what's funny is you put a spool that'll compete with this spool in the Zillion, and it's the loudest reel you've ever heard casting. So let's try the Airstream Custom. Nope, it's not as quiet. I think it's right there with the Corrado, which is actually good. That it's got a super thin spool, which translates the sound, I think, is why it is as loud as it is. But the Zillion's the one that'll spoil you guys. Spoil you guys, not spoil you guys. You can spool it, but yeah, that is not as quiet as I thought it originally was. I think I was thinking it was so quiet because I had all these hybrid ceramic bearings and everything, and it was driving me nuts. I cast this, I'm like, oh, this thing's awesome. Because almost all of the other, with the Aldebaran BFS XG, I had the Calcutta Conquest BFS with the Chameleon spools, the Chameleon spool in the Zillion. And I even tried I did away with the Chameleon bearings that come with it, but even with the stock spool bearings out of those reels, it was just, and I had the Dark Wolf Ultra with the Black Knight 2 bearings and the Black Knight 2 with Black Knight 2 bearings, ceramics, and this thing was definitely quieter than them, but it is actually not the quietest that I have here. I would call it as loud or a touch louder than that Corrado BFS. So it's kind of funny. I have the Zillion picked as the quietest, the Lingle and the Dark Wolf Ultra, the AliExpress cheaper reels, as the next quietest, then the other higher end, a little higher end JDM stuff in there. So anyway, I'm going to try to wrap this up right now. You guys let me know what you think. Which one did you think was the quietest? For sure, I'm just telling you guys right now, that is the quietest. I would actually put the Dark Wolf Ultra. If it wasn't for that first spool up, he's about as quiet as the Lingle or the variants, but he's closer to the Corrado just for that initial loud noise when that little bitty small diameter spool spools up to cast a bigger bait out. So I actually have Zillion, Lingles, more or less, Dark Wolf Ultra, Corrado, and then the Airstream Custom. That's how I rated it in my mind. The Sounds of Silence. Another reason it actually wasn't even on my mind until this test that I like the Zillion so much. It is just so buttery smooth, quiet, just everything about it. I know this wasn't a video to like doctor up the Zillion, you know, talk good about it, but it is a very awesome reel. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the Sounds of Silence. And I know if you're watching a Bass and Bonsai video, it is never silent. And it wasn't silent right now today. But anyway, the sun is now upon us. I can feel this finger. This finger was about numb. And we're going to get out here and catch some largemouth bass. You guys won't see it in this video. So unfortunately, now if I catch a giant, I may just tag it on in to show you guys, you know, kind of brag a little. But look forward to future Bass and Bonsai videos. If you're not subscribed to Bass and Bonsai, first of all, I don't know what's wrong with you. But if you are, tell your friends, your neighbors, anybody you know about Bass and Bonsai. We're coming to a honey hole near you. And what is starting to happen now, we have over 8,000 subscribers. We only get 100 to 200 views within the first week or so. Then some videos jump and just take off. But, you know, when I get a new subscriber jumps on there and they're like, man, your channel's underrated. You got this and that. And I'm like, yeah, help spread the word. Like, I don't advertise. I advertise through you guys. I, you know, put out a video. You guys see it. If you're watching this video, help me out. Tell whoever, share it on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Telegram, your Telegraph, your Indian smoke signals. You know, if you're Amish, well, you're not watching this if you're Amish. Can you watch videos? Anyway, whatever you do, help share the channel. Bass and Bonsai, Sounds of Silence, and Bass and Bonsai are coming to a honey hole near you. I got to get out of here. I got to go catch some largemouth bass. I shouldn't. I'm gonna have to edit out that K-I-L-L word, because these Canadian geese, they need to get back to Canada. They're driving me crazy. All right, guys, I'm gone. Time to knock it out of the park. Let's make a couple shots that I can down the length of the bank, like this, just in case I get any active fish. Like right there, that may be a nice fish of the day. Oh, that is a fish of the day. Like that right there. That, boys and girls. Yeah, I just wanted to, whoa. It's coming right at the boat. I'm trying to bag up the troll. Oh my gosh. Fish of the day. Not even the end of the day, it's just 10:18, just after 10 a.m. And the weather, oh, no!